Okay, here we go. So again, for those that were not on the call earlier, I thank you for taking 45 minutes out today to learn about AI for your business. And again, it's not going to be a roll up your sleeves and we're going to like actually use the tools. It's going to be more of an overview and let you know what's out there and how you can be using AI in your business and how to get started. So that's really, it's just a practical guide for small and medium-sized businesses. So hopefully you'll get something out of this. And again, for housekeeping reasons, if you have anything to ask, please use your Q&A tab that should be in your navigation bar. And then at the end, I'll be answering those questions. So the question every business owner is asking, like, is AI actually relevant to me? Can it actually help my business? So, this is what we're going to be going over today. So, what AI actually is, first steps to start using it. You don't need an IT department to do it. Real examples from businesses like yours and where AI makes the biggest impact. So, what actually is AI in plain English? So, I'm going to tell you first what it isn't. What it's not is a person. So there are certain things in your business that we cannot hand over to AI. It's not capable of handling. So when people come to me and say, I'm scared of losing my job through I say to them, well, what you need to do is think of it as a tool that can make your job easier and more efficient, and you become much more valuable because you know how to use it. There will be some jobs that will be eliminated, but those people will just be placed in a different role, usually at a higher level. So that is a huge thing that I hear back. So it's not going to take over the world, I promise. It's not Terminator, it's not any of that. Um, so what it actually does is it looks for pattern recognition. And what it's doing is it's looking for things that you're doing all the time or ways that they can help you do it better. So for an example, when you are in Gmail and or on your iPhone or your Android and your device or Gmail is predicting what you'll type next, that's actually AI working for you. 5 years ago, the technology cost millions. So today, many tools are actually free or cost under $100 a month. If you can use email, you can use AI tools. So let me say that again. If you know how to use email, you can use AI. I promise you, it's not that people get overwhelmed with it, but it actually is very user friendly, most of the softwares. And after you start using it and get used to it, it becomes just like email. And the average small business can implement an actual tool within a week. So if you find an AI tool that's going to help you, if it's not too complicated where it needs to get into financials and things, if it's a simple email tool or something like that, you can implement that within a week. My forwarding isn't doing too well. So how AI shows up in your business. So there's a few things that no matter what business you're in, no matter what industry you're in, this is how it can show up for you. So the conversational AI, think of a chat box that can answer a question at midnight asking, what are your hours? Or asking, what's my deductible? Or asking, what's my balance? Those kind of things can be handled through AI. And, it can constantly take in those calls so that you don't have to and you're not missing any calls. It can automate processes. So it can create invoices as soon as you mark something done or as soon as someone purchases something off, that they're going to need to be invoiced, it can automatically create those invoices. It can be predictive. This is where I think it's really fun. So predictive analytics. So it's knowing where your customers might go next. So it's looking at forecast trends, it's looking at risks early, it's using email to reach out to them based on some of these findings. So they might want something or need something that they don't know they need yet. And AI does though, because it's watching what's happening in the industry. Or for an example, if you're an insurance firm, and insurances across the board are going up across Maryland. You can get ahead of that and send out communication about that. Um, Content generation, I think that's where we all started, right? So it's funny when I ask people, do you use AI? I usually get back, oh yeah, I use ChatGPT, or oh yeah, I use Perplexity. Well, that's nice. That's kind of a general AI, but that's not actual tools. So one of the first things I think we all did with AI is have it create emails for us, have it rewrite things, have it write blog posts, things like that. So the content generation is probably the most well-known way of using AI. I'll be honest with you, the images and video, I'm not a huge proponent of them. There's a lot of pushback right now of using the AI generated images because people just want real right now. They want authentic content. So I don't use it a lot. The only way that I use it is usually for video for like special effects and things like that. So just a little tidbit of what I'm feeling out there in the business world about AI visuals. So we're used to having them create and it even can do proposals, marketing copy, visuals, any of that. So the smart search is interesting, especially if you have a lot of documents. And let's say you want to find that one clause or that one phrase, and there's 500 pages that you have to go through to try to find that one phrase that summarizes something. Well, AI can do that for you almost instantly. So it's great for search within even your own business files, and it can find things very quickly for you. So this is all kind of conceptual things, but let's take a look at the overall broad view. I get asked this a lot. I get asked, what do you use? So I use the middle one. I use Claude. There's a few reasons I use it, but I'm going to go through each of these so that you can understand what they do well, what they may not do well, and when to use them. So these are three of the big platforms that are kind of like an open AI, meaning that you can just sign up and start asking it questions, just overall questions. It's not specifically for one type of product, so it's not just for marketing. It's not just for HR. It's basically just an open platform where you can ask it anything. So let's start with chat. I think most of you probably started with chat. I'll be honest, I did not. I kind of started with Claude and never left. I do use chat in some ways. So let's go through that. So ChatGPT, it's the most widely adopted. It was really the first one that was accepted by the public and it was out first. It's great for brainstorming. It's great for coming up with new ideas, new terms, new product names, whatever that is. It's great for brainstorming. If you're into coding, maybe apps or something, it's good for that. And it's very good at plugging into your own ecosystem at your business. So it's most programs can handle ChatGPT that might be running your processes. So it is a good plugin for that. It is known for making stuff up. It is known to hallucinate, it's called, when they make stuff up. So it will hallucinate facts, and they were always trying to get a handle on this. This is one of the reasons I didn't use it, because I just wasn't comfortable if what I was being given back as a result was true. They have gotten a lot better with it as time has gone. There's a knowledge cutoff date. So what this means is that AI needs to be trained. And how you train it is you give it information. And there are cutoff dates of when this information was last updated into ChatGPT. So the cutoff date could be, you know, October 2025. So things that happened after October 2025 may not come up. I think they are getting better at training and keeping this more updated, but that is a thing. There is a cutoff that if you asked for something specific that happened yesterday, it may not know the answer. And it does give kind of generic responses. So this was the first one that was out. We all jumped on it. It's best for general tasks, coding if that's what you do, and creative brainstorming. So ChatGPT is helpful, it is powerful, but think of it as doing those three types of tasks mostly. Now, Claude is the one that I normally use. It's actually better with more complex issues or more complex discussions, if you want to call it. Its nuanced writing is a bit more than ChatGPT. The writing is a little bit more nuanced. It follows instructions very well, and their analyzation is really good on Claude. So if you prompt it correctly, it will analyze really well, and it will also stop itself and say, "I'm not sure. I don't have this information," if it runs into that problem. So there are a few limitations. You can see here. It can be verbose, meaning like it can just keep going on and on. And the biggest limitation that Chat has that Claude does not is that Claude cannot create images. Chat can create images. So that's another win for Chat. But if I need an image, I'll go to another software. So this is best. Claude is best for long documents, analyzation, and professional writing. I really am a big fan, can you tell? Big fan of Claude. And Perplexity isn't as well known in the business world, it is, but just in general, it's not as well known. This is real-time web search, so this doesn't have that cutoff that Chat does. It cites its sources, which I think is really important, especially if you're using it to, do analyzation. It's current and it's research focused. So if you're wanting to go in and research a client, research an industry, research your market, try to come up with a new market area or a new product or service. Perplexity is a really good search engine for that. And it's fact checking and it's current. So I hope that this helps because I do get a lot of questions about which one to use. So hopefully this helps. Now, what's nice is you can use them all together. So you can do research on Perplexity, you can like flesh it all out on Claude, and you can go to Chat to get some new ideas. So don't think that you have to pick one. So this is really just kind of going over what I just said, but these are some other options that you can use the different platforms for, and it's good for summarizing, it's good for researching, and they're really good for brainstorming. So let's get into this AI powered cash flow improvement. So I do want to talk about that because um, cash flow is key for a business to survive. So there's different ways AI can help you bring in more cash, bring in more sales without necessarily adding expense. So let's talk about pricing. I think a lot of us, especially in the service industry, have a hard time trying to figure out what your pricing should be. It can analyze competitors' pricing in real time. It has dynamic pricing, which I'm not a huge fan of, especially because I go to a lot of concerts and Ticketmaster was known for that. It will identify underpriced services. So if you have 10 different services or 10 different products and it analyzes what your competitors are charging for, it'll show you, hey, you might want to take a look at this service or product because you're undercharging for that. And it allows you to test the pricing strategies. So it will allow you to see if X works or Y works. So that's one way that it can help you with pricing. Finding new target markets. So it will analyze customer data. It will identify and create lookalike audiences, and it will discover untapped segments. So let me just give you a quick example. I have a client that was looking to open a new business, and it was one similar to the one that he already owns, but he wasn't sure what town to open it in. So we kind of came up with the top three, and we went through, and I used AI to dissect those three based on the type of customers that would come in and use his business. It's kind of an entertainment business. So it actually helped us decide on the town because of the demographics, because of the age range, because of a lot of different things. And yeah, we decided on the town based on what AI sent back to us. Now, collections, if you are sitting on a lot of collections, this AI is going to be phenomenal for you. It can personalize emails. And when I talk about the follow-up emails, I'm not talking about just putting their name in it. I'm talking about it will reference past emails you had with that particular person and put it into the new email. For instance, if you're collecting from a different business and the business cuts their checks on the 15th of the month, it will reference that in an updated email and say, Mary, I know that you guys cut checks on the 15th of the month. Just seeing where we are in your queue. So it will reference those past conversations. It also can predict late paying customers. It can show it because what it is, AI is watching trends. It's watching, just patterns. And if it's picking up a pattern that a customer is paying later and later and later, it might ding you and say, hey, you might want to reach out to this customer because they're paying late consistently. And it will prioritize collection efforts. So, which ones would make the biggest difference, which accounts being paid would help us the most, and it will prioritize those collection emails and those collection efforts to the ones that will make the most impact for you. And then lastly, demographic insights. So it will look at customer behavior. It'll look at geography and help you map out maybe where, you should start looking for new business. It will look at age and income targeting, kind of what I just said about my other client, and seasonal buying patterns. So all of this, these four quadrants here, will help you bring in cash flow faster or just in general. So right away, this, I think, no matter what company you own or what industry you're in, you can see how it will help you tremendously. So let's get into some real examples. So, all of this is theory at this point, right? So let's look into actually what's working. I'm going to go over 5 different industries and try to find the one that's closest to yours and try to translate what I'm saying into how it could help your business. These are all composites based on real implementations with real businesses, but the results are going to vary, but they represent the typical outcomes that businesses have if they stick with it. That's the key. So let's take a look at a law firm. So this is a small firm, has 3 attorneys, one office manager, and it's drowning in emails and follow-ups. Partners were spending evenings making collection calls instead of being with their families. And the solution wasn't expensive. They automated email sequences, and that solution that they did was under $100 a month. So they automated emails and for their collections, and there is a key component here, though. The AI doesn't replace the attorney. It just handles the first 3 touches. So the attorney only needs to step in if there's some difficulty. It's better documentation as well for potential legal action. So you can prove in court that all of this was done trying to collect this money. And it also, and if you ask yourself, are you spending more than 5 hours a week on a collection follow-up? Then it's worth AI going in and trying to do this for you. So what their results were is they had a 28% reduction in the age of their accounts receivable, meaning people were paying them faster. They saved 12 hours a week and their collections were 40% faster. So AI handles routine follow-up so attorneys could work on their billable work. So this was an actual case study for a law firm. So let's go. Sorry about this. This is going a little crazy over here. Here is an HVAC service company. So we don't really think about the trades as using AI, but it is really impactful when they do that. So they were missing every call during business season when they were out doing their work. So this equaled about $300 to $500 a call that they were losing. So after hours was their biggest gap. So calls were going into voicemail when they were closed and they never really got called back because that morning they had to hurry and get out and do their work. AI answering services cost normally $200 to $400 a month, but it pays for itself usually within that first week, as it did actually for this particular company. The AI software doesn't just answer, it books the appointment and sends the confirmation. So that's huge. So it's not just answering it and pushing it over to someone that's working in the field and can't take a call. It's actually booking it and then sending the confirmation. It freed up staff so that they could handle more complex issues. And it works for any type of service business. So this would be plumbers, electricians, anybody that's out in the field working all the time and can't answer the phone. I will give you a quick example. I had to get my car serviced and I had to go to two different dealerships for it to get done. So this is locally here in Baltimore. So that dealership I know was using an AI receptionist because at first you didn't realize it, but then you kind of, I guess, could realize what it was. It was nothing bad. It wasn't like a robot talking to you. It sounded like a real person. They were able to answer like different questions and get you to the right person for your problem. And how I knew it was AI is both dealerships had the same person, I'll call her Julie, answering the phone. So that's why I knew it was technology. So basically, AI can capture customers when you can't, if you're in that type of business. Insurance agency. So industry average renewal percentage is about 84%. So 84% of insurance agents pipeline or, their clients will renew. This particular insurance agency knew that they should be sending out renewal reminders 60 days in advance, but, like all of us, we're busy and they never automated it. Um, so finally, with an AI solution, they automated it. It personalized the renewal campaign. So again, it wasn't just their name, but it was relevant information about their account. And it was all triggered in the system when it needs to go out. The chat box that was on their website handles questions like what's my deductible or when does my policy expire? So the chat bot on the website could handle all of those types of questions whenever they were coming in. It could be midnight. Now, what's really interesting, talking about cash flow before, is it can identify cross-selling opportunities. So as it was doing follow-up for the different clients, it saw that, oh, Mr. and Mrs. Jones only have house or their home insurance with us, no car insurance, or vice versa. So it gave an opportunity for a cross sell for other types of policies with them, and that actually help their cash flow. So overall, when they implemented this AI strategy, their cross-selling went up 18%. They saved 8 hours a week, and the renewal retention rate was 10 points higher than the average in the industry. So that's was a really good result. Now, accounting firm, I know, just hang in there because we have two more to go. Accounting firm, so how many of you are in accounting or have to do financial work at your business? So how many times have either employees that want their reimbursements come in with just a box of receipts or your customers come in with a box of receipts? So that's kind of your nightmare, right? So AI can document and process these receipts. So it scans, it categorizes, and it extracts data that it needs to automatically give you the reporting that you need. And it does it so quickly. The client portal that they had for clients when they log in had smart reminders. So it reduced the back and forth for emailing, and their accuracy was much better. There were fewer data entries, so that meant they didn't have to correct as many errors as before. So they actually brought in 30% more income than before, and that's without adding any extra staff because of the different types of things that it can do for you. Their accuracy was 95%, and there was 60% less chasing documents. So just think about all the time that it saved them, plus it brought them some more business in. So it eliminates a lot of repetitive administrative work so you can actually work with the clients. This is what these accounting firm saw. And let's talk about businesses that sell to the consumers. Retail sales, I'm going to kind of talk about online sales right now, but this can be transferred into offline as well, like in store. Business to consumer. Average cart abandonment. So, how many times have you gone and shopped online and then picked something and it's in your cart and then you either didn't have your credit card on you or whatever, and then you just abandoned it? Well, the average cart abandonment is 70%, so you're not alone. Now, the industry, most businesses recover less than 5% of those people that leave their cart. So the AI difference in this particular example was timing and personalization. It would say, hey, Sarah, your blue sweater's still here, and I actually have a slide to show a real thing that happened to me. The chatbot can handle do you have this in a medium question? Or, what other styles do you have that look like this? It can handle a lot of different customer service questions. And again, the email personalization, as you see, most of these examples have some sort of outreach that is done through AI. AI will learn what type of products that you normally like, and it will send recommendations through email, knowing that you've looked at these 10 tops or looked at these 10 tools, and it'll send more recommendations. That's called predictive emailing, and it's very powerful. So in this case, their revenue grew 32%. Their email open rate went up 45%. And here's the key, their cart recovery rate went to 25%. So remember, less than 5% is the industry average. So people that were leaving their purchases in their cart, they gathered 25% of them back. So AI turns browsers online into buyers with all types of different strategies. So this was pretty impactful for that company. So I said I had a real life example. So this happened to me 2 days ago. I was on Wayfair looking for some accent pillows. I don't know, it's just something I was looking for. And I'm on their text message program, which does prove that AI can work through text as well. It's not all email. So I had looked at this pillow. I was actually going to get it in like a ruby red. And I got a text and it said, hey, I'm still here. The accent pillow is waiting. Bring it home today. That was AI. So it sent me a text reminding me that I had that in my cart because that's exactly what happened. I didn't have my credit card on me and I couldn't purchase it. So it reminded me to go back and take a look at that pillow again. So that just happened 2 days ago. So I thought that was something I'd share with you. So where AI is making the biggest impact, anything that's time consuming, anything that you look at and you say, this is taking way much more time out of my day than I want. But the first thing to remember, any tool that you're going to implement, try it out first, run your task through it a few times, and then see if this is what you're looking for before you do a whole big changeover and implementation. So you're going to look for things that are taking more than 5 hours a week to do. If they are, it's worth automating. You're going to ask yourself, is this particular task rule-based? Meaning, if you could write instructions for an employee, AI can probably do it. You're also going to ask yourself, is this task data heavy? So it's anything involving like spreadsheets, databases, document reviews, anything that's really data heavy, AI can help you. And then you're going to say to yourself, is this task customer facing? Meaning where speed matters and you can't always be available. So this is huge for customer service. And going back to the collections, another way that you can use AI in the chat on your website is you can train it to set up payment plans. So if someone asks, what is my balance? And they have an overdue balance, it can say, would you like to create a payment plan? And you say yes. And then it comes up with payment plans based on how you trained it. So that's a really great way to use it for customer service and also get some more cash into the business. So I'm going to give you guys a homework. Think of one task in your business right now that hits at least two of these criteria that you see on your screen, and then that's your starting point. So think of one task that um, two of these criteria hits, and you're going to start with that. And that is your starting point. So communication or common tasks that are perfect for AI. So the responses that I've continuously talked about. So answering the facts, answering, mundane questions. So 80% of questions are usually the same 10 questions. So you can set up your chat, you can train it to be able to answer those questions for you. It can help you scheduling, so there's no back and forth with email. It can help you with the follow-up, so no more leads falling through the cracks, no more emails falling through the cracks. Humans make errors at about a rate of 1%. AI makes errors at a rate of 0.1%. So it's going to be much more accurate than if humans are actually doing it. And it could help with your invoicing processes, as we've talked before, and email drafting and all kind of organization. So what I'd like for you to do is look at one of these and say which one of these would be the biggest relief for your business. And then you're going to pick one and then see if it hits those criterias that we just went over. And then again, that's your starting point. That's where you're going to try a tool. So, how do you get started? First, you're going to find the one repetitive task that we just talked about. You're going to evaluate and make sure through that criteria slide that I gave you, make sure it's actually made, this task is made for AI. Then you're going to try it. I'm going to suggest to try it for at least 30 days. Most businesses will try it and then abandon it in 2 weeks. You're going to need at least 30 days. And then once you know that it works, then you can expand it and have it work at different levels within your organization. So I came up with just a few budget-friendly AI tools that you can start with. I'll name a couple of these. There's customer service, which are the chat boxes. I do want to point something out about the email marketing, though. So MailChimp is listed as well as ActiveCampaign. So I recently have been looking into predictive email platforms. So that means it's an email software that can predict, like we had been talking about. And so your messages are predictive as well as, well written. MailChimp does not have that. Their AI will only write the emails for you. ActiveCampaign does have that. So ActiveCampaign will write the emails for you, just like MailChimp, but it can predict as well. It can predict when people will open it. It won't be sent to people at 6 a.m. if they normally open their emails at 6 p.m. So when you do a blast email, each of those emails are going to hit that person at a certain time that AI is predicting the optimal time for them to open it. So AI knows when they normally open their emails and it will be sent at that time. MailChimp does not have that. So I'm not saying MailChimp's bad, but I want you to see that there's nuances within those two softwares, as well as any of these other softwares. You have to just really, be smart about it. Use AI to research the different softwares, what their cons and what their pros are. And you can go from there and make your decision. But here are just some of the tools that are well known for the different types of tasks that you might have. What what AI can't do, and I'm saying yet because I think it's all going to catch up. So it cannot be a person. So it cannot know when a nuance needs to happen. It cannot do complete complex decisions. It cannot make those when there needs to be something that's not part of the rules or the policies. It can't do that. It cannot work without oversight. So people that are scared of losing their jobs, well, what they're actually going to become is the oversight for the tool. So they're going to make sure that the tool is working, that what is being produced is correct, and you actually analyze what the tool is giving them. It can't understand context perfectly, like we just talked about with the nuances. It can't build genuine relationships. Like your business is not going to run just on AI. You still need to have personal relationships. And it's not 100% accurate, as we talked about. It's way more accurate than people, but it's not 100%. So it works best as think of it as your assistant, not your replacement. So some questions to ask before you even start. So what tasks take the most time? What's the biggest bottleneck? And where do customers wait too long? So usually that's on the phone. What do I keep putting off? Those are kind of the tasks that you just never get to because you know it's a big task and it's going to be time consuming. And what would you do with an extra 10 hours a week? So if you can just give, AI will give you time back. So I really would have you look at these questions, and because just starting with AI doesn't mean you just haphazardly say, yeah, let's try this. You want to make sure it's the right task at the right time for the right reason. And if you have all of those aligned, AI is going to be dramatic for your business and help with your processes and possibly your income. So a realistic time for the RIA ROI to show itself. So let's talk about realistic expectations. It's not magic. There is a learning curve with AI and with you using AI. So the first 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to be figuring it all out. You're going to figure out the tool. You're going to be making mistakes. You're going to be getting frustrated. This is normal. You have to get through that though. So month one, you're going to start seeing small wins. Maybe you save an hour, 2 hours a week, but you're going to start seeing the small wins. Month three, the tool becomes habit. So it's something that you're going to every day to use. You've customized it now, you've trained it a bit, and your savings are pretty consistent. By month three, you're going to really feel it. By month six, you're going to probably see some financial ROI, and that can come in many different ways. So you're going to have to stay in this game for at least 6 months for it to really show itself and you feel the effects. You will feel it the first couple weeks, but the real effects for ROI aren't really going to show itself for about 6 months. So like I said, you have to really give it time and don't get frustrated and give up. So, some key takeaways that for today is AI is there, it's out there, it's accessible, and it's affordable for businesses at any size. Pick one task, test one tool for 30 days. Start with that. And remember how you're going to pick your task is you're going to go through those different questions like is it repetitive? Is it rule-based? Is it heavy on data? That's how you're going to figure out which tool to start with. And think of AI as your assistant, not your replacement. So human judgment still matters. Businesses that adopt AI now will have a significant advantage later because your competitors are still like, not looking at it, putting their head in the sand. Your competitors aren't there, where if you get ahead of them, it's going to be really hard for them to catch up. So you don't need to become an AI expert to start. You just need to start. So your next steps. I am happy to help you. And it's not a sales pitch at all. So if you know anything about me, I have been in digital marketing for 18 years. I opened my AI division in September after being certified in various different applications of it from Wharton Business School, from Vanderbilt University, from Google, from different places. So I want to share that knowledge with you for free. A 30-minute call, and I can identify possibly where your bottlenecks are and where you should start with your AI and how it's going to impact your business. So if you would like this offer, a 30-minute call, free, no pitch, I promise, no sales, I promise. I just want to help you. Please reach me and contact me, and I'd be happy to schedule that. So we are at the end. Let's see how we did for time. Looks like I have 5 minutes left, so that's pretty good. So send in your questions if you'd like. I have one question, and it says asking for a friend. Are the slides available online so that those of us who were on a phone are able to take a look at them? Yes, I can send you the slides if you like, or better, I can send you the link of the recording. And then that way you can see it kind of real time and me talking through it. Can you put up the four-step slide again? So let's figure out what that one was. So the four-step slide, let's see. Next step, previous, not the takeaways, not this. I'm not sure if this is what you're asking for. Can you clarify exactly what you're looking for? Oh, maybe it's this one. Okay, so the four-step framework, identify, evaluate, pilot, and then expand it. Even as an AI consultant, when I come into your business and I do all of this with you, I'm not going to take one department and full blast AI into it. I'm going to take a percentage of that department and do the pilot and then see if it's working the way we want it to work. So whether you're doing it yourself or a professional like myself is doing it, the proper way is to do this pilot to make sure that the AI is giving the results that you were looking for, because we don't want to go in full blast if it's not going to work the way that we thought. So hopefully that helps you. Let's take a look at a couple more. So, I got a thank you, so that's very nice. And I am happy to be here for you for some of these AI evolution. So what you may not know as well, 18 years ago when I started, social media wasn't a thing yet. It was called Web 2.0. So I was able to be in the forefront of social media, and that's kind of where I am. So I've done this before. I know how to get people through this and how to be on your toes for the next evolution. So, anytime you'd like to talk, I'm here. There is a question, what if my employees resist? Okay, that's a real thing. And that's actually part of my consultation process is I go in and talk with the employees and train the employees because let me tell you something. I don't care how much you love AI and you're all in. If the people that are having to use it every single day aren't all in, it's not going to work. So you really have to do training. You have to do some explanation. You have to show your employees how this is going to help them do their job better and allow them to do higher level work than data entry and answering what is my balance type of calls. So that is a really important thing to talk about is your employees and if they resist. Um, which tool should you start with is another. So once again, I can't answer that because there's different tools for different problems, different tasks, and you have to go through that process I gave you to figure out where you need to start. Each business is going to start maybe someplace different. So it really is hard to know until you go through that process. So I think one more question just came in, and then we can Okay, so is my data safe on these platforms? So this is an important question, and I probably will do a webinar just on this. Is so your data is as safe as what you put out there, meaning this is an open platform. So Chat, Claude, Perplexity, it's an open platform. I would not be putting any proprietary information in there or any business secrets or anything like that that you don't want people to know about your business. I would not be putting that out there on those types of platforms. So this is all new. Cyber attacks happen all the time for in different softwares, not just AI. And those types of people will figure all this out and be able to look at past chats and things and get information from those. So my best response to that is just think of it as if you didn't want the whole world to know this, would you put it out there? And that's probably the best way to stay safe with these types of platforms. Okay, so it is 45 minutes. I promise you it'd only be 45. Please reach out. I will send the link to you for the recording. We went over a lot, and then you can watch it whenever you want. And please share this with others that you think might have an interest. So again, thank you so much for joining me today, and I'm happy to help at any time. Enjoy the rest of your day.